Hi everybody! Today I'm going to be doing a video on a full stretching warm-up. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is the butterfly stretch. You're going to want to have your feet kind of close and make sure they're together. You're going to want to try to press your knees to the ground. After you do that for a little, you're going to want to try to keep a straight back and bend down with the straight back, not bending your back. And you go down as far as you can. Then you're going to put your nose to your toes. During this stretch, you can bend your back. Now try to slide your feet out a little bit and put your nose to your toes. Now you're going to slide one leg out and put the other leg in as far as you can. You don't want it to be up here like this. You want it to be in and against your other leg and your toe pointed. And you're going to want to slide down and grab underneath your foot and put your forehead to your knee, or as far up as you can get it. Now you're going to want to flex your foot and do the same thing. And pull up on your foot like this. Now you're going to do the same thing with the other leg. Point your toe and go down. Now flex your foot and go down. Now pull your foot up above the ground. Now you're going to do this with both of your legs out straight, the pike. And point your toes and make sure your heels and ankles are together and your knees are together. And there's no gaps underneath your legs so that when you bend down, you don't go like this or have them above the ground or off the ground, or you don't go like this. Make sure your legs are flat on the ground and your toes are pointed. And you're going to bend down as far as you can and try to put your forehead to your knees. Now you're going to want to flex your feet and do the same thing. You can either grab on the sides or on the top. I think you would prefer grabbing your feet on the top to change it up a bit. Now try to get your heels off the ground and then pull them off the ground. Now you're going to want to sit on your knees and take your hands under like this and put them on the ground facing towards you. And now you're going to want to face them towards you again, but have the inside of your wrist facing out. Now you're going to crisscross your hands like this and put your fingertips together and put them down on the ground so that they're making a triangle. And do that the other way. Now you're going to want to put your hands together like this and your elbows together and roll them in circles. Now you're going to want to keep your fingers latched. Let go. This. This stretches your wrists. So does this exercise. The other stretches, such as this one, and the two triangles, stretch your forearm and your wrists. Now you're going to want to do the cat pose, which is, so you're going to want to keep your knees flat on the ground and try to get your chest flat on the ground. And your armpits, try to get them flat on the ground, and your chin to be pressed against the ground. This really stretches your shoulders and your back. It also stretches your hips. Now you're going to want to stick your outside of your wrist down against the floor and your palm facing up and slide and have it your shoulders straight under and do the same thing. Now switch arms and do the same thing with the other arm. That stretches your shoulders. Here's another stretch. This is for your ankles and toes to get them warmed up for dance or tumbling or running or any event. So you're going to want to put them together or a little bit apart, and you're going to rock back and forth onto the ball of your foot and then back. Ball of your foot back. Do that and then do one, then the other, one, and the other. And then you could take one toe and curl it under like this, and the other one like that, and do them both at the same time. And then this is a stretch that stretches your calf muscles and your ankles and Achilles tendons. So you're going to want to be like this and try to get your heels flat on the ground. Maybe scoot your feet in a little bit until you can get them pretty flat. And then go up on your toes and scoot them out a little bit and bounce. And then you can do roll your toes under. This really helps to work on your toe point right here, this stretch. And that is all for the wrists. Now let's work on some shoulders. You're going to want to do this. Stretch it as far across as you can. Cross as far as you can. Then you're going to want to take this arm like this, put this one inside of it, and pull this arm toward you and out a little bit, and it will stretch right here in your shoulder. Now do that with the other arm. Now you're going to take your elbow like this and put one hand on the elbow and pull the elbow over. Now on this, you're going to make sure that your chin isn't like this on your chest, but it's up, setting off your chest. Now do that. The other arm. Now take one arm like this up and latch it with the other one and pull up some and pull down, and then get them as close together as possible and do that the other way. Now let's work on some splits. This is kind of helps to stretch these muscles, and you're going to want to have it so that your knee isn't over your foot like this, but that your foot is out so that your knee can't really, your knee is even with your foot. Maybe you can slide it out a little farther if you have a really good split. You're going to want to stretch forward. Make sure your back leg is straight in line and put both hands on and push down. You're really going to feel it under here. Now you're gonna lean back and hold on to your foot or put your hands beside your foot and put your forehead to your knee. You're also gonna feel that under here. Now let's go into our split. Slowly slide down into your split, making sure that you're in line. Put your hands above or out to the front, or like you were doing a leap. You want to make sure your hips are facing forward, not that you're like this, so you're not in your split, but that your hips are facing forwards. And then you can stretch down and grab your foot. Now try to do 10 bounces without using your hands if you have your split, or with using your hands if you don't. Now we're going to do our left split. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to do the lunge first. And then lean back. And then you're going to slide forward, making sure your leg is completely in line. And go as far down into your split as you can. Now, I can only get down to this far because this is not my best leg for my splits. And then you're going to want to try to lift your hands up if you can. And then lean forward. And then do 10 bounces, and you can use your hands if you do not have your split. Now let's work on our straddle split. Right now I'm going to do a stretch that someone suggested that I do. It is called the frog. It is, well, some people might call it the backwards butterfly or the frog stretch. But you're going to want to make sure that you are completely in line like your straddle split and your feet are touching lightly, and you're going to go slide down as far as you can. Make sure your butt is not like this because you're not in a split if you're like this, or that you're not like this. You're straight in line. And you can lay forwards, that might help, and push your hips down. And then you can do your straddle split. Now, like I said with the frog stretch, make sure that your butt is not back like this, because this isn't a split. As you can see, my butt is not in line with my legs. But then if you're like this, your butt isn't in line with your legs. So make sure you are a straight line when you do your straddle split. Try to lift your hands up, forward, and really push down. This will help you to get your split. Now let's do some bridges and some bridge exercises. Now this is called rock and roll. You rock backwards and forwards and hug your knees, and you're not going to want them like this because that's going to hurt when you go back. It's going to hurt your face, but have them pretty close about here. Squeezing them, keeping your back tight. And then another stretch is you're going to look straight up at the ceiling, Because if you do it like this or like this, it's going to hurt your neck. So you're going to want to look straight up at the ceiling and rock back and try to get your knees to touch right here above your shoulders on the floor. Now, some of you might only be able to get to here or here, but that's still good as long as you're stretching your back. So you're going to want to get your knees all the way down and kind of put your hands right here and push on your back. And if you want to make it a little harder, if that's really easy, try to widen your legs a little bit so that you have to stretch back even farther to get your knees on the ground. Now let's do some bridges. Bridge number 1, you're going to want to push up, and this is called rocking back and forth. You're going to want to rock your shoulders as far out as you possibly can. Now, you don't want to be looking up at the sky. You want to just leave your head dangling, push out as far as you possibly can, then rock back. This is called rocking back and forth. And then you can go down. And then do some rock and rolls. Now, the second bridge, we are going to have this leg up and then this leg up. So push up into your bridge, and then put your leg here and put it straight up in the air. And then switch legs, do that with the other leg. Get them as far up as you possibly can and make sure they're straight. Put it down and go down. And then rock and roll. Now we're going to do a bridge on one arm and the other arm. Push up into your bridge and put one arm, lay it across your stomach. Make sure you're not like this or all the way over here like this. You're straight in line. And then do that with the other arm. And go down. And then do some last inside of rock and rolls. And you can do another one of these stretches. Keep your back really stretched out. And those are all the stretches that we are going to be doing. Thanks for watching. Make sure to comment down below, like, and subscribe. Bye.